Sad Bangers is appropriate because I watched it and I was both depressed and horny at the same time.
Hello, and welcome to the Euro What, episode number 187 for the week of March 20th, 2023. We are a pair of Americans trying to make sense of the Eurovision Song Contest. I'm Ben Smith, and I'm joined today by Mike McComb. Hey, Mike.
Hello.
In this episode, we'll be talking about the first 5 entries of this year's first semifinal with our special guest, Justin Ladia. Hey, Justin.
Hi, it's me again. I'm back again.
Welcome back, Justin.
Thank you.
I'm so looking forward to this conversation. I think the set of songs we're going to be talking about today, at least a couple of them, I have a feeling you're going to have thoughts. So.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to have thought. I've opened up my notes app this time and wrote some stuff down in preparation for today's song. The set you gave me, very interesting set of songs. I quite enjoyed them in many different ways, let's say. So I'm excited to talk about them too. Also, just as a side note, I apologize for the raspiness of my voice. I've been doing kendo and I've been screaming a lot. so that's why I sound a little less, I guess, crystal clear than usual.
No worries. All right, y'all. Should we dig in?
Yes, let's do it.
We're in a weird area where we don't have the official running order for the semifinals yet. So for the first semifinal, we're just going to take things in alphabetical order by half of the semifinal. So we're talking about the first half of the first semifinal today. And that means we get to kick things off with Croatia. Perhaps the most established act competing at this year's Eurovision, Croatia's Let 3 formed in 1987 in the former Yugoslavia. To describe the band as provocateurs may be an understatement. Some of their antics have included releasing an album that was distributed as a blank CD, releasing their follow-up to that album as a single copy, then staging their fake death by firing squad as a protest when their label tried to make and sell additional copies of that album. We could go into more examples, but we would like to avoid adding an explicit label to this week's episode. However, Let 3 have been extremely supportive of liberal causes, including women's and LGBT rights, as well as challenging the concepts of machismo and militarism. Their song Mama Sh dominated at this year's Dora, finishing 124 points ahead of second place and cementing their status as one of the most popular bands in the Balkans. Croatia last qualified for the Eurovision Grand Final in 2017 with Jacques Hudek's My Friend. Last year's entry Guilty Pleasure by Mia Dimchik finished in 11th place in the first semifinal. Mama Sh is written by Damir Martinovic and Zoran Prodanovic. Justin, what did you think of this one?
Well, where do we start, really? There's quite a few things about this that I think is worth a conversation about. I think that's the goal of this entire song, really, is to get people talking about the current war that's happening in Europe. It's clear from the music video that that's what they were trying to talk about in this one. I like their look. I like their aesthetic, first of all, if we're going to talk about the band in general. They remind me a little bit of Wario, like the Croatian Wario.
Okay.
And honestly, like, it feels like their entire vibe is very Wario-esque, right? Like, I can only compare it to that because, like, I'm more familiar with Wario. It's very, like, very pranky, sort of, as you said, provocateur type sort of deal. They're just strange in a good way, and I'm really interested in what they have to say. And they've been around since the 80s, right? So they come from the time when punk and art and all that sort of come into this one sort of amorphous blob. And I quite enjoy that they're bringing that to 2023. I really enjoyed the song itself. I mean, at first I was really unsure about it, but as it kept going, I was hooked. I really dug it. I enjoyed that punk is not dead, and they have this like interesting sort of artistic perspective on messaging. Great band, great song, into it.
I'm just picturing the green room host of this year's Eurovision going up to them and like can fully expect like a wah from them. Yeah. they have been provocateurs longer than I've been alive and longer than most of the contestants in this year's Eurovision have been alive. This is not their first rodeo.
They may even turn it into a rodeo. Who knows?
If for whatever reason Eurovision were like a John Hughes movie, this would be the group that Martin Oosterdal, the principal, would take into the office and be like, I'm keeping my eye on you guys.
I really am curious what sort of conversations have had to happen since they were selected. Their assets were made available pretty quickly on official Eurovision channels, like their performance at Dora and their official music video, which dropped, I think it was last week. It doesn't seem to be running afoul of Eurovision's, like, this is not a political contest, drink. I really enjoy this entry, particularly from the media studies perspective. Mm-hmm. I really cannot wait to see how this operates at the various fan events that'll be happening between now and Eurovision. I don't have a sense of where the fandom sits with this one. I think everybody's in support of the message of this song. The delivery mechanism really feels like an acquired taste. It's definitely in my wheelhouse. Like I feel like this is really in the same mold as like Hatari and a lot of the other kind of more art school entries that we've had in the last few years. But that could be incredibly divisive, and I think that's part of the point.
Yes.
Yeah.
Croatia does well when it takes big swings. As you mentioned in the blurb at the top, their last entry to make it to the final was My Friend. That one was a big swing. I'm hoping this is something that will get them back into the final. I don't know if this has winner vibes. I think it's going to be way too out there.
Yeah, it's maybe a little too out there, and it's potentially overwhelming just in rewatching the live performance and in definitely watching the video. There's just a lot of visuals happening, and that seems to kind of be their thing with this song, hitting you over the head repeatedly. But like, I love that Croatia has not made a boring selection, because I felt like their last couple years worth of selections have been a little safe and a little boring. And they've finished in 11th in their semifinal as a result. And I don't think that this is going to do that. It could just completely fail, but it will fail in an interesting way.
I don't even think it could completely fail, because the big change this year is the semifinals are all televote. I have a feeling there are going to be a lot of people that are going to televote for this, be like, I need to see that again just so that I can properly digest it.
True. I like that they see where the line is drawn on Eurovision not being a political contest, and the lyrics are exactly on that line. And they are making direct eye contact with you the entire time. And also, I just love randomly walking around in my life now and just going, tractor.
Yes.
We do love a tractor, especially one that Mama has bought for you. Speaking of, I do enjoy their interpretation of drag in the video. I hope that they bring it to the live performance as well. It's always nice to see old men in butch drag. It's very empowering for people who are of a certain age, like myself. I'm kidding, I'm only 34.
Yeah. A few weeks back when Germany was having their national final, was on like the page, which was the gateway to the video so I could watch the final. And I turned on Google Translate so that I could find what I was looking for on the page. And they had a link to an article about this entry. And the title of the article was Weird Dictator Drag Show.
Did you guys see the definition of the sh on the Wikipedia page for this song?
What did it say?
Okay, I'm going to read it verbatim. Apparently, in an interview, they said that the song title had been inspired by the first letter of the oldest alphabet in the world, sh, apparently. There's no source to prove this correct or incorrect, so I don't know about that. And then they said the song, according to the band, is an anti-war song. In the interview, the band reported that after total Armageddon had been waged on Earth, a rocket would land on Earth containing the letters sh. So some sort of Nostradamus type whatever is happening there. In other interviews, they said that it's also a blood type or a sound someone makes when they are meditating. It is also a reference to the Russian letter sh. So there's a lot of stuff in that title itself.
I feel like they're getting this question a lot and they're yes-anding every time, and I love that for them.
Honestly, me too.
And that also explains the randomness of the Croatian alphabet just being part of the lyrics.
Yes. Like there's like I've been poring over the person who has done the English translation of the lyrics for this on Genius, just because they're trying to spell out, the band is making this a nursery rhyme because they think that dictators are acting like children when it comes to war. There's a lot to think about with this song, and I appreciate that deeply from Croatia this year.
This is easily one of my favorite picks of theirs in a very long time. So good job, Croatia. Good luck. I really have a feeling they're going to make it to the finals. So.
Yeah. I have a question for you about Croatia, actually. Are they typically this, let's say, arty in their entries?
I feel like Croatia takes the artistic side of Eurovision very seriously, but their entry has not been as sort of what I think of as like art school as this in a while.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I just find Croatia to have a specific flavor, not necessarily just like for Eurovision, but just the country itself. And so I'm just like, this is very Croatian. For some reason, I don't know that much about Croatia, but I was just like, yeah, this is very Croatia right here. I'm into it.
I think it is important to point out that during Dora, when Let 3 was doing their performance and we were tweeting about it, we got a whole bunch of people from Croatia being like, oh, Google this, just to like tell us like more and more. It's just like, oh, finally we get to tell other people about this group because man, oh man, is it wild.
Yes.
If you do Google anything, do not do this at work or have safe search on. Like, believe me, NSFW, all caps, seriously.
Oh, yeah, no. Like, I have this down as most likely to purposely have their butts out in the green room and, like, having, like, a panic shot change during like, just, like, a normal pan over the green room. Just like, oh, no.
We might be different, we might be unique. You might be a leader, I might be a freak. And we might be different, but under the falling sun. Tonight, we are one. We are one. When we rise like the sun. When we go down, we go down, we go down.
Next up is Ireland with Wild Youth and We Are One. Ireland's Wild Youth is a 4-piece band that formed in Dublin in 2016. Their entire Spotify bio reads Sad Bangers. They released their first EP, The Last Goodbye, in 2019 and have been the support act for Niall Horan, The Script, Zara Larsson, Lewis Capaldi, and Westlife. Ireland last qualified for the grand final in 2018 and finished 15th in last year's second semifinal. Wild Youth won Ireland's Eurosong competition with the song We Are One, and it's written by Jorgen Elofsson, Connor O'Donoghue, and Ed Porter. So, Justin, what do you think of Ireland's entry?
It's a good song. It's definitely not a winner. Let's just say that. I always confuse the name of their song with We Are Young by Fun. And in fact, I think they're pretty similar, both of those songs, in that it feels like it's a very 2010s pop rock song. It's a vibe that we've had before in like the zeitgeist and like a decade ago. It's okay. I like that they call their music sad bangers. But I watched the video and like sad bangers is appropriate because I watched it and I was both depressed and horny at the same time watching it.
Because which video were you watching? I did not have that experience.
I mean, they look like fine men from the neck down. I obviously couldn't see anything from the neck up because they were wearing those disco executioner hoods. I don't understand it. I don't understand why they were hiding their face.
This is just my weird sci-fi reader brain. This is just Harrison Bergeron. It's a short story by Kurt Vonnegut. It is in a society where everyone has forcibly been made to be equal. So, like, if you're tall, you've got something to adjust for that. Like, if you have talent, you have something to adjust for that. But it also just felt like the sort of Dove ad / Upworthy content of, like, we put these conventionally attractive people in masks, and you'll never believe what happened next.
Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of tired of the whole faceless artist thing. I think that's been done ad nauseum now, especially with Norway's entry last year with the Wolf Banana one. I feel like they're setting something up here because, like, the end of that video, they tried to do that, a cliffhanger. They were trying to reveal the face, but they wiped it black from the bottom up.
It's not important that they show their faces, Justin, because we're one.
Ugh, but I want to be, like hornier. I want to see their face! I want to see their face! But it's just, their faces have been seen before. I don't understand why you just... I mean, I get it. The statement, you're one person. There's no... But they're wearing different outfits anyway, so there's still individuality between them. So the message was lost. The music video was lazy, and I was just like, there must be something else that they're setting up for in the live performance, because there's just nothing here to go by besides Laume face masks. I guess it's fine. Good song, kind of meh in all honesty, but there we go. ago.
I mean, that's been the story of this entry from the beginning, where at the competition where this was selected, they were wearing kind of 70s jumpsuit things. Like, it was costuming that didn't quite fit.
It was very Harry Styles.
Yeah, we saw their faces. They weren't wearing masks or anything. So, like, the music video, I do not understand what they're going for here. There's no mystery.
Yeah, like, we know what they look like.
They don't really have a sense of what their identity is in a band. So they're doing this very middle of the road stuff and being like, well, I guess we could try this and see if it works. But there's not strong conviction behind the choices that they're making. And I don't understand what they are hoping to accomplish here. That being said, I would not be surprised if this is what opens the competition. One, because We Are One was the slogan for Eurovision in 2013. So it's like, oh, yeah, we recognize that phrase. But also, this is the closest that you're going to have to a home court advantage, I think, at Eurovision. Because, I mean, like, Ireland's just across the water from Liverpool. So I expect there to be a huge Irish representation in the arena that night. I think it's going to end up goosing scores a little bit. I think it is fine enough to sneak in. It's not my favorite entry.
My notes for this one mirror a couple of things you guys have said. A, I keep typing We Are Young trying to find this song on Spotify. My brain just conflates that, no, they're not singing We Are One, We Are Young. If this was the Parade of Nations music for like a theoretical 2024 ESC where the theme was We Are One, you play a little bit of this and you go, Albania!
Yep.
Malta!
France!
The song's a little on the nose, but it's fine.
The name of the band is Wild Youth. Their name of the song is We Are One. And then fun song is We Are Young. So it's like youth, young, one. It's just too on the nose. I can't, it's hard to not mix that up. And I feel like they know that. I hope.
I think for Ireland, this does kind of sound like a U2 song, so like good for them. They're on brand. This one feels like it's on the bubble. I want to know what they're going to do with the staging because it feels like they don't know how they're going to stage this song.
If it's anything like the music video, it's like, what are you doing? Like, don't bother with the masks. And that's the other thing. Like, they're official photos. Like, it's of them. I don't know. The music video really bothers me.
The whole mask thing just feels very half-baked. And, like, I'm terrified that that's, like, the concept they've landed on. They're just going to keep riding it to Liverpool.
Mm-hmm.
If the music video is any indication, I feel like their setup on the live show is just going to be just them on the stage with their masks on. That's it. Maybe a video playing on the screens to the background, but, like, probably a simple setup. I'm not expecting too much, but if they do something extravagant and do something with the masks or whatever and do a nice reveal, then that's very welcome from me. It will blow my expectations out of the water because my expectations were in hell in the first place.
That sort of staging is just not Ireland's MO. So, yeah, this one's going to be end of sentence.
This one is going to be, period. Yeah. It's just there.
This one is going to be.
Ireland, it's there.
Yeah.
In the world so beautiful, you see, I think I don't believe in this stuff anymore. Don't cry, I'll try to say the right words at the right time. Sing you loud, loud, loud. Please, don't wake up.
Next up is Latvia, who are sending Sudden Lights with the song Aijā. Latvian band Sudden Lights formed in Riga in 2012 and described their sound as perfect for dancing with a melancholic note or two along the way. After winning a contest in 2015, the group recorded their first studio track and have since become one of the most streamed artists in Latvia. They've released 3 albums, the first of which was nominated for Best Debut by the Latvian Music Recording Awards in 2018. That year, Sudden Lights competed in the National Selection Supernova, advancing to the final as a wild card and finishing as the runner-up. They returned to Supernova in 2023 and won the competition, receiving 12 points from both the jury and the televote. Latvia last qualified for the Eurovision Grand Final in 2016, finishing in 14th place in last year's first semifinal. Aijā is written by Andrēs Rainis Zitmanis, Carlis Matis Zitmanis, Carlis Vartins, and Martins Matis Zemitis. Mike, where are you at on this one?
I really like this song, but it does not stick in my head. And that's going to be a problem, I think, for a number of reasons. In preparation for this episode, we are only talking about 5 songs, and they're in alphabetical order. I keep forgetting that this one is right in the middle. It's just like, okay, we're talking about Croatia, Ireland, Malta, and Norway. Wait, that's just 4. What's the other one? And I have to run the entire alphabet through my head before it's like, oh, right, Latvia. Latvia. When we first talked about it, when it was selected, I described it as being an album track rather than a single. I think part of that is the structure of the song. It's very focused on the chorus, and the rest of the song is kind of filler to get to the chorus part. And that's something that's going to be coming up a lot this season. I've been noticing that with a lot of the songs. Very strong chorus, and then all the other parts were just like, okay, we're just going to do this, and then we can get back to the chorus. And that's the best part. I do think this has strong staging potential, but then it sort of peters out at the end. Like it's as close as you can get to a fade in a song without it actually being a fade out. Having it in the first half of the semifinal is just not ideal placement. Like it really feels like all of the cards are kind of against Latvia at this point.
Yeah, I kind of feel bad for them because I generally like what they're doing, especially because we have a bunch of bands in the first semifinal. There are more dynamic bands in the first semifinal. I don't know, Justin, what are your thoughts on this one?
It's a good song. I would listen to this casually, beyond Eurovision's context. I enjoy how they wrote it and how the melody and the rhythm sort of progresses throughout the 3 minutes. But it's not a winning song. I think that much is clear. I think their video is one of those rare instances where I became less interested in the song after watching the video. I watched this video after Croatia's, let's just say. Latvia's video is basically the baby version of Croatia's video for me. Croatia's video is like they graduated from art school and have been doing art for like 40 years. Latvia's video is like they went into art school and it's their first year. So it's like the Gen Z sort of fresh in school sort of idea where the video itself is predictably kind of insipid. Ooh, we have a message, but how are we going to portray this? I know. Let's put all the people in an empty swimming pool in the same outfit and have them vibrate in a closet. Like, I mean, come on. That's just that. Even I can come up with that. I think this is the person who made this music video will end up being a graphic designer because they went to art school, failed, and now they're just doing commercial art. I can say that because I'm a graphic designer. Okay. No. This is not that was not a dig towards any artist that became graphic designers because that happened to me. But in any case,
did you direct this music video or?
I actually came here to talk about my career in Latvia, and so surprise. No, I didn't do it. You can imagine though. I'd be embarrassed. I don't know. I just thought that they tried to have a message with it, and they kind of did okay with the delivery, but it's nothing to write home about. One funny thing about the video though is that you can clearly see some of the people laughing at what they were doing, or trying not to laugh, I should say, while they were jumping up and down in place. I saw this one girl smirking and they're really trying to be serious about it, and I don't know, it was just there, I guess. They tried. At least they tried, not like Ireland, who just put up a white background and performed in mass. They at least tried to put something together, but it's kind of just okay.
We've had the live performance from Supernova for longer than we've had the official video. The thing I like about it is, like, right at the opening, they're playing the drum machine live to show how they're getting that really complicated beat in place. Mm-hmm. I find that super interesting, but then the rest of the song happens.
Yeah, but this isn't Song Exploder. This is Eurovision.
Mike, I fully agree. Feels like an album track that needs to be like in sequence with something rather than just a single on its own. I think it could be staged interestingly, but I'm not sure that this is going to get Latvia out of their non-qualification funk.
Yeah, which is a shame because they've been doing such great work, and it's just not connecting.
I wish we had 100% televote last year. I feel like CD Zani was doing some really interesting stuff that was resonating on like an audience level, even if it was perhaps a little crass for the jury level.
Oh, they did the washing hands thing last year, Latvia?
No, instead of meat, they eat veggies and something else.
Oh, yes, that one. Yeah. That would have definitely. Now it's just like a college essay on why it's important to go to bed.
This year's Supernova was a little less fun to watch. It felt like Latvia has been trying to course correct from placing 14th. I feel like they're going to get their groove back at some point, but like I'm not sure it's this song.
Yeah, they took themselves way too seriously this time. You're right. The course correction is quite obvious in that they were really trying to make themselves seem more of a serious band, trying to put a song out there. But it's just, I'm bored. It's a good song. I would listen to it. I definitely would listen to it again. It's just, it's not Eurovision stuff.
Yeah, I'm intrigued to hear what their other stuff sounds like, but also in the context of Eurovision, I'm like, this, not this year.
It's just going to get lost, especially like if it is after Croatia, like it's just going to get steamrolled.
Yeah, just like whatever follows Croatia, my apologies.
I feel better in my sweater. I these songs, you know. But hey, wait, what'd you say? Do you wanna dance? Do you wanna dance? Do you wanna dance? Do you wanna dance? It's on.
Next up is Malta and the Busker with Dance Our Own Party. Malta's the Busker formed in 2012 and released their first album in 2017. Their sound is influenced by 1960s pop rock and folk rock, though the band describes themselves as new funk soul pop. So a lot of stuff going on there. The trio has had a string of hits on the BMAT PRS Malta charts, including 5 number ones. They competed in the 2023 Malta Eurovision Song Contest, finishing second with the jury and crushing the televote. Malta's last visit to the grand final was in 2021, as last year's entry, I Am What I Am, by Emma Muscat finished in 16th place in the second semifinal. Dance My Own Party is written by David Milak, Jean-Paul Borges, Matthew James Borges, Michael Joe Chinney, and Sean Meechin. Ben, what do you think of Dance Our Own Party?
They did some level of revamp to this song. It's one of the ones where I can't really place what they did exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I love the vibe of this song, but it also feels underbaked. I think they're trying to do too much with the live performances of this song. They've left themselves so many places where just like a saxophone is happening. It's like a dance break, and it's not a group that's like built for a dance break. I'm surprised that this band is influenced by 1960s pop rock just because this song sounds like the generic like 80s text generator thing that you can do online.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like it wants to be more of a 5-minute mood piece that's been randomly shoved down to 3 minutes for me.
Okay, I have lots of thoughts on this one, only because it's really in my wheelhouse. This is the kind of genre that I really enjoy, just personally. It's my kind of song. New funk soul pop. Hello, yes, 100%. I grew up listening in my university days to bands like Chromeo and Justice and Daft Punk. There's some of that influence, I think, in this, or at least in the genre. So I really enjoy it on a technical level, where there's a sense of joy to it. There's the dance element to it. It's great. I think it falls flat for me in regards to the lyrics. I find it a little repetitive, which is unfortunate. My guess is that they wrote this song around the saxophone hook and then kind of just let everything fall into place after that, because everything else feels a little, as you said, Ben, underbaked. The chorus is just the same line repeated 4 times. I think they could have written a little bit more to make this feel a little more meaty, I guess. On a technical level, like I said, it's good. It's just lyrically, it's just a little basic, if I'm being completely honest. The idea of them dancing in a sweater. I mean, those were good sweaters in the video, by the way. I would buy all of their outfits, especially like those sequined pieces. It's great. I mean, but you're not going to see Ed Sheeran on the dance floor dancing to that song. There's some disconnect with me with their aesthetic and the song, but maybe that's what they're going for. It's a great song. I would listen to it over again. In fact, I would probably send this to my friends, just be like, this is a great song, you should listen to this. The lyrics is what kind of just ruins it for me a bit. The video is great. I wrote in all caps for Malta, magenta is back, baby, and bisexual lighting. Because I remember who did that song before Emma Muscat again? What's her name?
Destiny?
Yeah, Destiny. I remember Destiny had a bunch of magenta. And I was like, yes, girl, magenta, hell yes, girl, get it. And we're back to magenta and bisexual lighting. And the 80s movie Weird Science, I think, is kind of reminiscent here. It's a great video. I just wish they worked a little bit harder in the songwriting. That's all.
I think I like this track. I just keep thinking of the staging from the Malta final and then how it is overlapping with the video. And it's like, okay, I think they're pretty much sold on these concepts. The problem that I have with the staging is particularly the hand rotation thing that he does. It's not good for an arena staging, and it's not being captured well for television either. So it's just like, you really should get rid of that. Nobody's going to be able to see that. Musically, they're doing some interesting things. It's really reminding me a lot of Lake Malawi from 2019.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, like I think it's that sort of sound. It's still in the kind of 80s revivalism space, but at least they're doing something interesting with it. It's not just like trying to recreate Dua Lipa's Physical. This is another one where I am very curious to see how the audience at the fan events is going to respond to it. I could see this going either way. Is it just us who likes it, or is there broader appeal for it? I'm not getting winter vibes from this at all, but I think it could qualify. Really, the whole dance aspect of it. The image that keeps popping into my mind is Jimmy Jr. from Bob's Burgers, like starting to dance. And like this is a song that could be playing over the Bob's Burgers end credits. And I mean, this is praise. Like I think it is a perfect match for like that animation style and just the kind of like silly joyfulness that show has. Like I think it matches up with this song really nicely.
I love a good saxophone riff at Eurovision. This was a good one. I'm really concerned that they're going to try and keep doing the same performance they've been doing since the MESC final, because it feels like they have like one too many things. They're trying to tell a story, but they're slightly over the word count. They're running all over the stage, and just like some of the elements are like, okay, cool, we're going to represent a car with a bunch of computer chairs that we've duct taped together in a way that feels very high school senior talent show. It's like, oh boy, y'all are doing so much.
Yeah. I wonder if the hand thing's reference to Daft Hands from the early 2000s. Do you remember that video?
I do,
Daft
yeah.
Hands. If they were referencing that, they didn't do enough of it, because it just felt like a wave, like oop, oh, here's my hand with some writing on it. Love that for you.
Yeah, I feel like there has to be some sort of deeper meaning to that. Otherwise, like, I really feel like that would have been the first thing to go, just because, like, it's not framed well at all. Like, what are you trying to do here? So there must be some hidden story behind that.
They're operating on a fairly small scale, and they need to get bigger.
Yeah.
You know what? Maybe this entry has an ADHD problem. They're trying to do too many things at once. They do it pretty okay. It's just a lot. There's just a lot of, like, it's not the form of maximalism that I like, but it is something that they're just trying to cram everything into one, and to mixed results, let's say.
I am Googling the phrase, how do you give a Eurovision performance Ritalin?
Looking out, she calls. La-da-da-da-da, who will conquer all? Her name is she. We know the kings are running so fast, beating the wind. Nothing in this world can stop the spread of the wind. We know the kings have broken her cage through the keys. She will be the warrior of the north and southern seas.
Closing us out today, we have Norway's entry, Alessandra's Queen of Kings. Alessandra Mele is a 20-year-old singer-songwriter who first gained notoriety when she competed on Norway's version of The Voice in 2022. Originally from Italy, Alessandra moved to Norway to study music at the Lillehammer Institute of Music Production and Industries. She won her first singing competition at the age of 6, covering ABBA's Dancing Queen. At NRK's Melody Grand Prix, Queen of Kings conquered the jury and the televote, finishing 95 points ahead of second place. Last year, Norway finished in 10th place at Eurovision thanks to Subwoofer's Give That Wolf a Banana. Queen of Kings writers include Alessandra Mele, Henning Olerud, Linda Dale, and Stanley Ferdinandez. Justin, what did you make of this one?
I feel like this is the song that... Who did the whole Cleopatra Matahari thing?
That was Azerbaijan.
I think that's what they were trying to go for, and I think Norway was way more successful at that sort of thing. I think I'm just in a really good sort of headspace for music this year, because I also really like this song. I was sitting in my seat, and listening and watching, and I was just like, yes, get it, girl, as she was going off. And I think maybe the gays will love this. I mean, I liked it. I was rooting for her and for what she was talking about in the song. She's a queen. She was a strong woman. The stage performance was okay, but the song itself went off. I like how when, I guess for lack of a better term, when the beat dropped, the song improved quite significantly for me. I was fully into it. I would love to see this being performed at a lip sync by some Norwegian drag queen. It's quite a bit of a twist or a diversion from Subwoofer last year. I would gladly listen to it again. I liked her. She's young. She's fun. She's a strong female icon, and we're here for it. We'd love to see it.
Mike?
Sure. Well, no, that just sounds like what Twitter was like for 6 weeks since it debuted on NRK. Yeah. But similar to Latvia, this is another one where I feel like the focus is the chorus and everything else is just kind of filler to get to the chorus. I think it's successful in what it's trying to do. It's about her experience as a bisexual woman, so I feel like I have to support it just so that it's all about bi visibility. It needs that bisexual lighting, but we can get into that.
Okay, wait.
But-
Okay, sorry. They didn't give bisexual lighting to the bisexual. That's a crime. That's homophobic.
It's fine. I don't mind if it gets through. It doesn't really do anything for me. Like, it really feels like it is Melfest light. I think that may be what Norway was going for. And hey, it's working. It's not my favorite. I'm not necessarily skipping past it every time it comes up on my Spotify, but I'm not exactly seeking it out either.
On my end, this has wonderful sea shanty energy to it.
Mm-hmm.
When Norway last hosted the contest in 2010, they sent a ballad that felt very Irish. So just like apparently like roughly every 10 years or so, Norway's just like, we're going to steal Ireland's whole thing and it's going to rule. This is going to absolutely pop off in the arena.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Just-
girl, I popped off in my chair, honey.
This one's going to be fun live. I think that energy just as this is happening will be a lot of fun to watch.
And I feel like this is one where it doesn't matter where it is in the running order. People are going to remember this one. And I think most people are going to receive it more positively than I'm receiving it. So, yeah.
It's a nice one for the running order planners to have in their back pocket of, okay, when do we need to pump the crowd up again? Let's plug that in there.
I love a bisexual sea shanty. I didn't even know it was about bisexuality. That surprised me. And it's a little understated for that kind of message, I feel, a little bit, now that you say that.
Like, I don't think it's supposed to be in your face about it, but my initial thought of it is like, this is Daenerys fan fiction, isn't it? And yeah, so maybe that is where it was starting from. I don't know. So, yeah.
Well, like on the other hand, some deranged American Eurofan has already written the version of this that's King of Queens. It's about Kevin James.
I would love to see Kevin James in that same outfit. No,
Get Leah Remini in there. Like,
Yeah,
she is a queen,
no.
so-
It's secretly about Leah Remini.
Yeah.
Oh, we love Leah Remini.
Leah Remini is the queen of the King of Queens.
Yes.
Absolutely. Oh, well, I mean, Norway did that. They did the thing. They certainly did something. And you know what? Some of the gays, apparently not all of the gays, but some of the gays are going to pop off on it.
All of the gays minus Mike.
He was not into the bisexual sea shanty this year, but you know what? That is a way of life, you know? It's
No,
fine.
I am supportive of bisexual sea shanties. I just think that there's a whole catalog of them, maybe, and this one might not be number one on that list.
Next year, I expect you to come up with a list, have a Google Docs ready. Top 5 bisexual sea shanties by Mike.
Adding it to my to-do list now. All right.
Thank you again, as always, Justin, for bringing your perspective to our panel. Do you have anything that you would like to plug?
Other than my mouth, because I said a lot of stuff today that I might regret later, I am on Twitter and Instagram at JRLADIA. If you want to check me out there, I do other things on a semi-regular basis, sometimes not so regular. There might be a podcast coming out. We'll see if that happens soon. But other than that, it was a pleasure talking and being very, very gay here on What once again.
Happy to provide that venue.
It's a safe space.
Okay, and that's going to do it for this episode of the Euro What. Thanks for listening. The Euro What podcast is hosted by Ben Smith, that's me, and Mike McComb.
That's me. You can find show notes, our socials, and all the info you need about Eurovision 2023 on our website at eurowhat.com.
If you'd like to help support the show and access a ton of bonus content from the Eurowhat AV Club, head on over to patreon.com/Eurowhat.
Next time on the Euro What, we tackle 5 more songs from the first semifinal with our special guest, Ned Raggett.